Unique boss fights. Yuki Ona. Winters in the Dohai Mountains have always been harsh. Denizens of the nearby town of Raposa oftentimes are forced to make emergency supply runs if the winter is long. One year, a young merchant named Hiro volunteered to brave the winter storm. He made it to a town safe from the winter winds, collected supplies, and made his way back. However, the cold was too much, and he passed out in the snow. When he awoke, he saw a woman with long black hair and white clothes take him and bring him back to his town. The woman introduced herself as Fuyuko, and she was accepted into the town of Raposa. As the months passed, and as Hiro and Fuyuko grew closer, the winter cold lessened, but never completely faded. Fuyuko revealed herself to be a Yuki Ona, a snow spirit of the mountain, and asked to marry Hiro. In his surprise, he ran off, telling the rest of Raposa that Fuyuko was a spirit that is causing the long winter, and she was cast out from the town. Feeling betrayed, Fuyuko grew angry, and her anger manifested in the coldest winter the realm had ever seen. Hiro wants to hire your party to find the Yuki Ona and put a stop to her, but warns that she has created icy constructs to protect her. Can your party stop the Yuki Ona and bring a stop to the terrible winter storm? Unique boss fights for D&D. The Spirit of Famine. A terrible famine ravaged the realm, leaving entire towns starved and forgotten, with piles of bones being the only remnants. Over the years, the neglected spirits and unburied bodies fused together, creating a monstrous skeletal monster driven by insatiable hunger. Every night, the creature rises, seeking to devour the living that had forgotten it. However, no matter how much it consumes, its hunger is never sated, as it consumes entire towns. Your party is asked to destroy the abomination, tasked with performing proper burial rites in the day and fending off the insatiable monster at night. Can your party satiate the thousands of souls, or will your party join the abomination? Unique D&D boss fights. The Mirror Man. Mystical Mirion was a world-famous performer. He could amaze any crowd with his illusionary performances. What most didn't realize, however, was that while he was stealing the show, he was also stealing from the crowd. It started with some viewers complaining about coins missing, but it grew to a bigger and bigger problem over time. During a big performance in the king's court, he amazed the king and all his men. For his final trick, he disappeared in a flash of smoke, along with the king's entire treasury. The king was furious and sent out a huge hit on mystical Mirion. Eventually, his tower was found. But each room is filled with tricks and illusions, such as mirrors that create exact replicas to challenge intruders, and a maze of mirrors that seems to never end. Those that make it all the way to mystical Mirion must face off against the master illusionist himself, but he has a final trick up his sleeve. On top of being a skilled spellcaster, he's constantly transforming his appearance to look like your party members, making it impossible to distinguish who is the real one, turning friends into foes. Can your party take down the Mirror Man, or will your dreams of becoming heroes be shattered? Unique boss fights for D&D. The Mad Scientist. The people of Southport City beg for your help, as the ocean that was once brimming with delicious fish has turned slimy and sickening, mutating the fish into strange beasts. Your party searches the beach, eventually finding a hidden pipe that is pumping contaminated waste into the ocean. You follow the pipe up and into a dark and mysterious building filled with strange creatures that look like experimental chimeras. You eventually find the owner of the building, an alchemist who's gone mad with experimentation, using his potions to mutate his experiments. When confronted by the party, he makes a desperate dash to his station, throwing together a potion and drinking it, transforming into a strange beast. As the fight progresses, he moves to different stations, making different potions and changing in different ways. Your party must either beat him with brute force or find a way to stop his potion-making madness, stopping him once and for all. Unique boss fights for D&D. The Dream Eater. After all the terrible things you have seen while adventuring, you believed the nightmares with the inevitable aftermath. However, you notice that recently, in your dreams, a terrible eyeless creature stands, smiling at you in every dream you have. You mention the strange dreams to your party and come to the terrifying realization that everyone has been dreaming of the creature. That night, you dream of the creature again, but decide to confront it. The creature attacks you, and you awaken from the pain, feeling sharp and real. You look around the room and notice the smiling creature standing above your ally, sucking out his soul. The Dream Eater is a terrible beast that feeds off your fears, giving you terrible nightmares and consuming your life little by little. If unaddressed, you will either die from exhaustion as you can't manage to get a good night's sleep, or you will be consumed by the Dream Eater. The only way to defeat it is by fighting it both in your dreams and in real life, as it jumps back and forth between the two. Unique boss fights: the Tainted Celestial, a guardian who was once a protector of Mechanus and other lawful planes. This Celestial wields a powerful scepter that controls gravity. Constantly bothered by interplanar attacks, they grew a hatred towards chaotic planes and became obsessed with power and balance. The Celestial began setting traps, manipulating gravity to crush and disorient their foes, but decided to move to destroy planes that didn't align with their goals. Once they arrived to the material plane, they began to judge and execute those that don't agree with their ways, consuming magical artifacts to increase their power. The once warring regions of the material plane are forced to come together to enter this Tainted Celestial's domain and take them down before the material plane itself is destroyed. However, within the domain, the Celestial controls gravity, making the adventurers weightless, crushing them with immense pressure, or changing the orientation of gravity, leaving adventurers dropping from the floor to the ceiling. Can your party bring down the Tainted Celestial, or is this the end of the material plane? Unique boss fights for D&D. Silas, the Shadow Puppeteer. After a string of thefts and people going missing in the city, your party tracks the clues to an abandoned clothes shop. You enter the dimly lit chamber, silent except for the soft creaks of the wood floorboards. You walk past eerie mannequins, dressed in clothes long forgotten. You feel a dark presence, unseen yet watchful, lurking in the shadows. You reach the end of the room, and suddenly the mannequins all turn their heads towards you and lunge, moving as if guided by invisible hands. You smash one mannequin, and for a brief moment, you see invisible strings fall and a puppeteer shrouded in darkness before he disappears once again. Silas, the Shadow Puppeteer, is a dark fiend that can control an army of puppets with his invisible strings. His position is revealed whenever a puppet is destroyed, but will teleport to another shadow before too long, as the puppet show must go on. Don't you dare fall unconscious though, or you too will be strung up and become a part of the show. Another puppet for Silas to control. Unique boss fights for D&D. Sin Incarnate. In a shadowed realm where the line between virtue and vice dissolves, your party faces the very embodiment of sin. He is a twisted creature, formed from the 7 deadly sins, each one revealing itself in a new deadly phase of battle. First, pride. A regal and impenetrable defense demands teamwork to weaken its power. Then comes greed, cloaked in shimmering treasures, using the party's wealth to fuel its strength. Lust enchants players, pitting them against each other in a fight for control, as envy morphs into a reflection of each player, imitating abilities and sowing discord. Gluttony absorbs energy and spells, growing stronger with each attack. Wrath erupts in rage-fueled assaults, testing the limits of their endurance, while sloth saps their will to move, slowing them to a crawl. Your party must take down each sin one by one to vanquish Sin Incarnate from this mortal plane. Unique boss fights for D&D. The Colossus of Ruin. The realm's biggest mystery was always the massive metal pieces protruding seemingly randomly out of the ground across the realm. Massive pillars of metal in the east and west, a metal pyramid in the north, 2 matching towers in the south, and a metal temple in the center. While exploring the metal temple, your party happens upon a strange artifact, but upon touching it, it begins to hum and glow, spreading energy throughout the temple. The ground begins to shake, and as you escape, you watch in horror as from the ground a colossal metal being pulls itself from beneath the surface and begins to march to the capital city. As it walks, each footstep causes a massive earthquake. The Colossus of Ruin is an ancient weapon of destruction that has been forgotten by history as it marches to end life as we know it. The only way to stop it is by entering each limb of the Colossus, disabling each part of it before gaining access to the heart and putting a stop to it once and for all. Can you stop the Colossus of Ruin, or will the past put an end to your future? Unique boss fights Santa Claus. He's making a list, checking it twice, gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is… Wait, that's not Santa! Legend has it that the realm is being constantly watched by an omnipotent being named Santa. If majority of the realm is on the nice list, Santa brings presents to all the people of the land on winter's solstice. However, if the majority of the realm is on the naughty list, he transforms into Santa Claus, a vicious ho-ho horror with a thirst for blood that will destroy everyone who wasn't a perfect angel this year. With the ability to travel to every home in a single night, he will appear without warning. His vicious claws will rip you to shreds, but you'll be sorry if you try to run, as he's armed to the teeth with presents like his coal bomb that will leave you blinded and an army of toy soldiers that will rain fire down on you. This fight is no joke, but only after a good knocking around the Christmas tree will Santa come to his senses. Saving Christmas without ruining the magic for the children will be a tremendous task that requires some silent nights to save the day. Can you save Christmas, or will Santa be stuffing your stocking?